First of all, man, you've been getting busy for so long, man. I mean, at every level that you could possibly think of in this hip hop game and just music industry in general. For those that don't know and don't understand, what was it that got you into hip hop?
Well, got me into hip hop working or as a fan?
Working.
Somebody I went to high school with just flagged me down on Old National one day and was like, yo, brother, I would love if you would help me with something. I didn't know what that something was.
Yeah.
You know, he called me every day for a month straight. Like, when you coming to the house? When you coming to the house? So I finally was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna come over. Went over, and he just played the piano and sung and rap. And he was like, since we've been kids, you've always knew how to talk to people. If you could talk to people about what I'm doing, I think we can make a whole lot of money together. And I was like, maybe this is what God want me to do. Because I was actively searching for my purpose at that age. Weird. Oddly enough, I was actually like searching for my purpose. Like, what am I supposed to do in my life? Like, I got a job, I'm in junior college, but I'm only doing this because I feel like I'm supposed to. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. So I actively searched and it found me. And, you know, I felt like I made a deal with God. I was like, I'm gonna honor this at all cost, at all loss.
What was that first position that you got in the game, Ray?
That is first position that I got, meaning
as a worker.
Well, it was working for him. It was funny because he felt like I was one of his discoveries. He didn't necessarily call me his manager. I was kind of like the guy that worked for him, that did whatever he needed to do, that ran around for him, that he would say, you know, I need to get Greg Street over here, you know. I would go get Greg Street. He would say, you know, we need to get this person over here. I would go. I remember I bought Tony Draper to the house, and, you know, I would. But knowing what I know now, we wasn't gonna go anywhere because we weren't because he didn't know what he wanted to do. He was kind of like this most talented. It was like a big lesson I learned because he was so gifted. He was so talented, but he thought he was smarter than everybody. So he figured. So he would basically bring you to his house, or me bring you to the house, have him play, have him rap, have him sing, have him do all these things that he could do, and then get you excited, and then be like, let me talk to you about my artist. So people would be like, well, aren't you the artist? No, I'm the genius behind the artist. He would actually say that. And, you know, my dumb ass, I'm just trying to, you know, I'm just trying to prove myself. I'm just every day, I'm buying into it, believing into something. And, you know, as I'm older, as the more I got in the business, the more I was like, man, I'm glad I got out of there because that wasn't going to work. He, you know, in this game, you need to know what you want to do or be open to somebody's suggestion. And he didn't know either.
When you bust that first pivot, what was that like for you saying, okay, I got to get up out of here and find something else greater? And then was that a point in your life where you knew that the music industry was something that you would continue with? Or
man, that's a great damn question.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever asked me that. So I remember the day I left. He was telling me about this rap kid that we were about to sign. And, you know, he was like, he's the dopest. Then I finally came to the house because he lived in this weird thing. He lived in this like cottage where it was like no real electricity. All electricity was on the outside of the house. Only thing he had was a studio set up and like a fireplace in the middle of not even a fireplace, but something where you put the fire in and it burns around the whole house, something like a fire pit. So he had that. So I remember I came over the house one day and the kid that he was bragging on was a kid that I grew up with named Jay. And I remember I was like, this the Jay you've been telling me about? He was like, yeah. So I was like, Jay, I didn't know you rap, man. It's dope. You know, we knew each other since we was 12 years old. Now, you know, we 21. So I'm like, nigga, you rap? Let me hear you rap. Yeah. And then he told him, don't rap for him. Like, but it was like, in a way, it was like, don't rap for him. You don't have to rap for him. He do what I tell him to do. And I was like, and then I was like, nah, come on, sure, man. Let me hear him rap. And Jay he was like, dog, don't rap for him. Trust me. I told you he good. And then I just remember leaving. I remember thinking like, well, maybe he's the guy that God sent to get me started. And I'll honor it still. And I remember from there, because I was bringing everybody to him, people saw me as being of value. So people were like, well, why don't you come help me?
Exactly.
So I was like, okay, but I still didn't know what I was. I could tell you the first time I was ever introduced as a manager because the artist that I was running around with, we was at Clark Atlanta and the Outlaws, Tupac Outlaws pull up and they put up on us in this Range Rover and he was like, yo, they was like, come to the studio. And he was like, all right, come and bring my manager. And he pointed at me and that was the first time I was like, damn, I'm a manager. So, cause for me, I didn't even think I didn't even have the balls to say what I was because I felt like I was saved from it. So it's like imagine somebody pull you into a room and say, all right, we in TV now. Like in your mind, it's like, okay, cool, we in TV, but what do you want me to do?
Exactly.
You're not gonna walk in there and be like, all right, I'm a producer now, everybody. So I didn't do that. So I kind of just played any role that was available with the hopes of like being a part of it. But the one thing I remember about myself was that people bought into me. Like people came to old boy's house that got me in the business because they believed in, because I made them believe that it was something that they was missing out on. And then when I got to the other situation, you know, we would be running around in New York and trying to get on, and it would be me at the parties that everybody remembered. So people would be like, I like him.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a place in it. So it was like, I'm the same person I am now. I'm a hustler, I'm humble, I'm all those things, but I didn't know shit. So for me, it's like they liked me, but I was kind of like, okay, so what can I do? And they was like, well, you're doing it.
Shit.
And I'm like, oh, well, what am I doing? Because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just running up in parties with CDs saying, you need to check us out.
Exactly.
It was like, that's it. You're doing the job. So, you know, so when he got rid of me, you know, and then that second team that I went with got rid of me.
Shit.
Because what happened was that, like I said, you know, as you get older, you reflect and you start thinking. I just remember being the guy that was the guy that the people who we were doing business with like. So imagine I work for Beehive and, you know, your company, and, you know, you're like, Ray, we need some people in here. And I'm running out getting people, and they don't really like Beehive. They like,
Ray.
I'm only doing this interview because Ray asked me. And then when Beehive is like, you could feel that. You know, people, I remember the time that people got rid of me. They got rid of me over the dumbest thing. It was really because we were running around in New York, and I had the CDs on this is like 2003. I had you know, you passing out the music with the CD, the number on it. My number wasn't on the CD. And I was the only person really in the streets passing them out. So I had a big problem with that. And I would be like, yo, why can't my name be on the CD? Like, I'm the one that's like, yo, Beehive, check this out.
Exactly.
Like, you need it, this dude is this. So, and then some people will call, and they will call these other guys. And they would be like, yeah, Ray, we got to meet with such and such. Oh, how do we meet him? Oh, he called when you gave him a CD. Bro, why can't I put my name on the CD? Then they was like, nah, you got to go. And they got rid of me. And I remember feeling alone again. But by this time, so many people in the music industry who I looked up to told me I had it. So, and liked me genuinely. So that was when I was like, all right. And I remember when they was breaking up with me, the artists that we were pushing, they was like, we want to get rid of Ray. They wanted to get rid of me so bad that they told him, you can go with him if you want. We don't care. So I'm like, bro, I'm broke. I don't have nothing. They was like, well, and they were so condescending. It was like, well, I guess he's going to have to figure out that you can't do anything for him. So I'm like, okay. So, you know, I called a couple people that I knew, and I was like, yo, those guys I was with was gone. You know, I hope you still want to work with us. And they was like, what? They're gone? Oh my God, finally. This is what I want you to do. Get me this, get me that, get me this, get me that. I'm gonna put you in the game. And I did it all. And then I got in the game. And none of those guys even got close to the, you know, I guess if you want to call this the show that we are at.
Yeah.
None of those guys got close to the show. So for me, you know, it was really like a blessing. It was God all day, because like I said, I was actively seeking something to do, something to believe in. And when it came in my front door, I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna honor this. I'm gonna do it right. I'm not gonna cheat it. I'm gonna give it everything I got, and here I am.
Monetizing your passion though, Ray, because so often as a manager and somebody that makes it do what it's supposed to do, it's difficult to monetize that. So how did you keep from finding yourself working and helping every damn body out without helping yourself?
Well, good question again. I remember my first artist, he got his deal, and he lived with me. I did everything. You know, he was in and out the hospital. He was, you know, nobody was involved. And I remember, you know, it was time to finally get a deal. And I just remember, you know, mind you, Beehive, I did everything.
Shit.
When I mean I did everything, meaning he didn't know the producers. He didn't know nobody. He just showed up, and I did my part. So, and it goes back to that, what I said, they believed in me. So they knew I believed in him. So they was like, we're going to do this with him. So I remember we finally got his deal, and I'm thinking to myself, like, mind you, I'm homeless. I don't got nothing. I'm thinking to myself, like, man, I'm finally about to get a check from the business. You know, I've been hustling this shit for like 2 years. And I remember I was like, yo, so managers get 20%. And then his mom was like, you ain't no damn manager. My son helped you.
Oh!
And the crazy thing is that you never forget that, because that was the first time. And this is how I know God is real. I'm telling y'all, this is how I know God is real. Let me tell you why. Because it goes back to everything I said I did. I honored it.
Yeah.
Like I remember being in the room when my first artist is getting signed. And I remember the guy who I did the deal with was telling everybody he did everything I did. Like he was in the room like, I found the producers, I found this, I set them up in the studio, I flew them to New York, I did this. And mind you, I was driving my car to New York. He didn't do none of that.
Oh, shit.
But hey, brother, shit, you are who you are.
Yeah.
Take the credit. I don't mind. I didn't even feel no way. Because the way I looked at it was, he's telling them everything they need to hear for them to be interested in cutting us a check. That's what I don't think he was trying to take my credit. I just think he needed to hype the situation up. So now they're like, oh wow. I don't think it would have been as effective. He would have been like, this young man did everything. I understand what he was doing. So, he did that. We finally got the deal. And I remember when I called him, the guy who I say his name is D. Angeletti, the mad rapper. I called him, and I remember I was like distraught, because I'm like, bro, I did all this shit and I'm not gonna get nothing. Like I remember being like distraught. And he was like, first of all, welcome to the music industry. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give you half of my money.
Ooh.
And man, dog, he's such a real nigga for that. Because what happened was I wound up coming out with almost 4 times the amount of money. Like I was gonna get $10,000 off the deal.
Yeah.
If I got 20%. But because he did that, I wound up getting $37,000 off the deal. He gave me half his money. But he did it because I did all the work.
Yeah.
And he was like, and he also knew I'm gonna still need you to do
that shit again.
more work,
Exactly.
which I had no problem doing.
Yeah.
And that artist a year later fell off, and I found I was already friends with these guys from the Virgin Islands, and they was like, help them. And maybe 200 million records later, I don't know how many singles or albums or whatever we've done, but this many years later, I'm still in it, and none of those guys that shitted on me is in it.
Come on.
We all still cool, but I really believe, that's why I say I know God is real, because I really believe that God gonna give you what you supposed to have, and he gonna give others what they're supposed to have based on their heart. And if you know this guy is doing everything for you and you're still wanting to shit on him, what does that say? What does that say to, because when we all broke, we all praying people. I mean, when you broke, you ain't got nothing but prayers. Am I right?
Facts.
So when you broke and you don't have nothing but prayers, you praying to God like send me a blessing.
Exactly.
But then and saying that, you gotta also be the blessing to people. So when it was time, so here I am doing what I'm supposed to do. Y'all turned to do right by me. Y'all didn't do right by me. And here I am. My mom ain't worked in 10 years and don't never have to work again. And I don't know what their mom's doing.
Come on.
But that's on them. That's on their moves and their decisions. But I know what my mom is doing. My mom is living good, comfortable right now in a mansion. Driving a brand new Range Rover I bought cash.
Come on now.
And to me, I didn't have the talent, but I knew my heart was good, and I knew I was just trying to help. And I was going to take whatever was given to me. Not what I thought I deserved, because I didn't think I deserved anything. Because in my mind, I'm thinking like, okay, imagine since you were a kid, you knew you wanted to be in the music industry.
Yeah.
And then you asked me to help you. Like, this is your dream. I'm the assist man on your dream. I'm throwing you the alley-oop so you could dunk. So I always looked at it like, I'm here to help other people get to their dreams. That is my job. So in turn, those people will then help me get to my dream. And my only dream was to take care of my mom.
I'm with you.
So for me, it was like, it was a good deal to me. I don't want to be on stage. I don't want to be, no, I just want to be able to make the money that come from what we're doing and take it home, which I did, which I still do to this day, 16 years later.